Chosen one, you are about to hear something deeply hidden. Not to make you afraid, but to help you understand why your heart suddenly grew heavy when you encountered these words. Beloved child, I am Michael. And before you hurry away, give yourself a moment of stillness. Ask yourself why a memory you believed had fallen asleep has suddenly returned. Why the name of someone you dearly miss has appeared so clearly. And why, in this moment, you feel as though a gentle hand is knocking upon the door within you. Some longings do not return to pull you backward into the past, but to illuminate something you have not yet become peaceful enough to face. Some memories return, not because the one who departed wishes to disturb you, but because the love they left behind is still teaching you how to live, how to choose, and how to protect what is precious. The person you loved, who left this life too soon, remains present within you through the things they once gave. It may be a sentence you still remember, a small habit, a look that once made you feel protected, or advice whose full meaning you did not understand at the time. I do not want you to chase every sign and force yourself to believe that every dream, every gust of wind, or every sleepless night is a supernatural message. Yet, I also do not want you to dismiss the power of love and memory. Sometimes what the departed wished to leave behind is not contained in a mysterious message from a distant place, but was already placed within you while they were still beside you. Live more carefully. Do not place your trust in those who are unworthy of it. Protect yourself, and do not allow loneliness to lead you down a road that will cost you your peace. You have endured nights when you could not sleep, and in that stillness, your longing became so intense that you thought you heard your name being called. I understand why this confused you. When you love someone deeply, your mind and heart preserve traces of them for a very long time. A familiar fragrance, a piece of music, or a particular hour of the night can reopen the door of memory. Do not be afraid of such moments, but do not allow them to lead you into panic. Receive them as a gentle reminder that the love which once existed was real, that your pain deserves to be acknowledged, and that you are still learning how to continue living without betraying the good things that person once wanted for you. I want you to pay attention to a choice drawing near. You may be standing before a decision that already feels wrong somewhere, deep within you. Someone may be attempting to enter your life with attractive words, but unclear actions. An opportunity may excite you while also creating an unexplained heaviness. Or perhaps you are considering returning to a place that once harmed you, simply because you are afraid to move forward alone. This is the moment to remember the person you loved who has departed. If they could sit beside you now, would they want you to accept something that steals your sleep, fills you with constant doubt, and causes you to lose your dignity? Or would they take your hand, look directly into your eyes, and remind you that you deserve safety, respect, and sincerity? What I bring is not a final threat. True love does not pressure you with the fear that if you leave, you will lose your only chance to hear a secret. What belongs to the light is patient enough to allow you to think. You do not need to remain, merely because you are afraid a door will close forever. But you should remain with your own feelings long enough to understand what needs healing. Perhaps you have postponed facing your grief. Perhaps you kept yourself so busy that you never truly allowed yourself to say goodbye. Perhaps you carry guilt over an unfinished conversation, an apology you never had time to offer, or the final moment when you were not present in the way you wished you could have been. I want you to know that love is not erased by what remained unfinished. You do not need to punish yourself for the rest of your life because of a moment you can no longer change. If that person loved you, they would not want you to remain trapped in regret. They would not want you to refuse joy, simply because they are no longer here to share it. Nor would they want you to use grief as a reason to ignore dangers that are present in your life. Let the love they left behind become a lamp, not a chain. That lamp reminds you not to enter relationships that diminish you, not to neglect your health and peace, and not to continue postponing a decision you know is necessary. Perhaps the warning you have been seeking is actually very simple. Slow down, observe carefully, do not sign what you do not understand. Do not trust promises that are not accompanied by responsibility. And do not return to a place merely because you remember its beautiful days, while forgetting the times it wounded you. During the past 4 days, you may have been more sensitive to dreams and memories. Do not turn that number into a law you must believe. See it instead as a period in which your mind may be trying to process something unresolved. When you cannot sleep, do not panic. Sit up, drink some water, breathe slowly, and write down what is making your heart heavy. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing? Whom am I trying to hold on to? Or what am I considering doing that conflicts with the peace within me? Honest answers to these questions will help you more than explanations that make you increasingly anxious. I want you to be protected through clarity, not controlled through fear. Something is indeed happening outside your awareness, but it is not necessarily a secret plot. Sometimes, what you cannot see is simply the consequence of choices is quietly accumulating. If someone continually says one thing and does another, the truth will eventually reveal itself. If you repeatedly ignore the limits of your body and mind, exhaustion will eventually speak. If you delay a necessary conversation, the distance will gradually increase. Therefore, today's reminder is not meant to make you suspicious of everyone, but to help you live with greater awareness. Verify information before deciding, give yourself time to think, and speak with someone trustworthy if you feel pressured or manipulated. Beloved child, the person you miss does not need to cry out to you from a distant place for their love to continue supporting you. The most beautiful qualities within them have been planted in the way you now live. When you choose kindness in a harsh world, protect the vulnerable, leave what is dangerous, and learn to forgive without returning to former cycles, you allow that love to remain present. This is the deepest meeting between memory and the present. Not through your effort to hold what cannot return, but through your decision to live a life worthy of the goodness you once received. Therefore, remain in peace. Do not close your heart to grief, but do not allow any message to make you afraid that time is running out. You still have opportunities to repair what can be repaired, speak what needs to be spoken, and leave what needs to be left. Use tonight to listen to yourself, not with panic, but with honesty. If a decision makes you uneasy, postpone it. If someone continually causes you to question your worth, create distance. If there is an apology you wish to offer to someone who is still living, do not wait until it is too late. If you carry regret concerning someone who has departed, speak those words in stillness and then allow yourself to be forgiven. I stand near you not to create fear, but to remind you that genuine love always leads you back toward clarity, dignity, and peace. There is one more thing I want you to remember deeply. Healing is not a straight road. There will be days when you feel much stronger, Yet a small memory may suddenly bring tears to your eyes. This does not mean you are weak. It simply means your heart still knows how to love. Be as patient with yourself as you once were with the person you loved. Allow yourself to rest when you are tired, and do not force yourself to appear fine, merely to make others comfortable. You must also remember that you are not alone in this journey. Although the person you loved has departed, other people can still offer you warmth, understanding, and companionship. Do not close your heart because you fear losing again. Love is not something that arrives only once in a lifetime. It is a current that can continue to flow when you allow yourself to open wisely and maturely. Learn to recognize those who genuinely value you, those who do not make you question your worth. As you continue, carry the lessons, but do not carry the burden. Remember that you have the right to be happy without asking permission from the past. The one who departed would not want you to stop. They would want you to live more fully. Every step you take with wisdom and every choice you make with self-respect is a way of honoring the love that once existed. I am here not to make your decisions for you, but to remind you that enough strength already exists within you. Trust your intuition, but verify it through reason. Love, but do not lose yourself. Above all, remember that you deserve a life filled with peace, clarity, and light. I invite you to enter this moment through a sincere act of faith. Open your heart to what is good, choose generosity, and move forward through hope rather than fear. Yet, beloved child, remember that giving carries true meaning only when it is born from love and free choice, not from pressure that tells you to offer money in exchange for a blessing. No gift can purchase heaven's love, and no contribution can force a miracle to appear according to human desire. If you decide to help someone in need, support worthy work, or share what you possess, do so with discernment, peace, and within your ability. The most precious seed you can plant is not found only in money but also in kindness, an encouraging word, honest work, and the decision not to turn away from another person's pain. Something within you urged you to stop and listen, not because you were brought here through a mysterious threat, but because your heart needed to be reminded that hope still remains. You may have passed many messages, promises, and calls, but what matters most is not where you clicked or how long you stayed. What matters is what you will do with the truth after hearing it. A button cannot replace faith, nor can it open destiny by itself. If you express agreement through a small action, understand that it is only a way of reminding yourself that you are willing to change. Grace does not depend upon likes, shares, or numbers displayed upon a screen. Grace touches you when you know how to pause, correct what is wrong, forgive what can be forgiven, and courageously establish boundaries before what is no longer healthy. I do not want you to imagine that heaven is waiting for your click before it begins to act. Love for you was present before you even knew how to ask. The days when you were exhausted, the nights when you possessed only enough strength to sigh, and the moments when you could not form words were all understood. Therefore, do not turn faith into a transaction in which you perform an action to receive something in return. Let faith become the way you live, faithful when no one is watching, honest when deception appears easier, and willing to continue planting goodness before results return. When you live this way, what changes first is not the balance in your hands, but the steadiness within your mind and your ability to recognize opportunities with clear eyes. I know you have experienced delays, wounds, and seasons when everything seemed to be against you. At times, you wondered why similar patterns of sorrow continued appearing within your family. Why several generations carried the same fears concerning scarcity, love, or failure. These things can leave deep marks, because words, habits, and reactions are often passed from those who came before to those who follow. But you have not been sentenced to repeat everything that happened before you. You have the right to choose another road. A family legacy includes not only what remains unhealed, but also perseverance, sacrifice, the ability to rise, and the quiet prayers of those who came before. I want you to receive that light while stopping what is harmful from continuing into the next generation. There may have been unspoken words in your family, dreams that had to be abandoned, or pain that was buried, so everyone could continue living. You do not need to carry all of it as a personal responsibility. What you need is to live with greater awareness, name what was wrong, and choose a different response. If those before you lived in fear of scarcity, you can learn to manage finances through discipline instead of panic. If they endured disrespectful relationships, you can learn to love while preserving your dignity. If your family developed a habit of silence around pain, you can create honest and safe conversations. This is how a message from the past becomes complete within your life. Not through mysterious things that frighten you, but through growth that transforms pain into wisdom. Do not allow anyone to convince you that a message, a number, or a countdown has the authority to decide your future. You may have recently sent or received something that caused your heart to tremble, but that alone does not activate a chain of events beyond all choice. What happens next depends upon truth, attitude, and the actions of those involved. If the message needs a response, answer calmly. If it disturbs you, read it again when your mind is stable. If it concerns money, do not act hastily because of emotion. If it concerns love, do not consider beautiful words sufficient evidence of commitment. Time will not run away merely because you need a few additional minutes to think. What is sincere will not collapse because you choose wisdom. I also want you to understand that love and finances may enter a period of change together, but both require a strong foundation. In love, you need clarity, respect, and consistent actions. A sincere person will not merely say they miss you. They will be willing to communicate, accept responsibility, and build a peaceful place with you. In finances, you need a plan, patience, and the ability to distinguish genuine opportunity from exaggerated promises. Lasting breakthrough often comes through small decisions repeated over time. Reducing an unnecessary expense, learning a new skill, completing work on time, saving consistently, and avoiding choices driven by greed. I do not promise that every difficulty will disappear in one moment, but I remind you that you can build a different future by beginning with right steps. There are two things you must preserve when love and money both begin to move: discernment and humility. Do not forget to observe how you are treated merely because you feel loved. Do not overlook risk or surrender control to someone untrustworthy merely because a financial opportunity appears. You do not need to kneel in fear or amazement before an unverified promise. Bow your heart in gratitude when you recognize how many difficult seasons you have survived, but stand upright when making decisions. I do not want you to become someone easily controlled by declarations that you have only a few minutes to receive everything. I want you to become calm enough to ask questions, verify facts, and choose what agrees with the truth. If you have something to give, give without attempting to control what returns. If all you possess is an encouraging word, use it to lift another person. If you can help someone in need, do so within healthy limits. If you cannot give money today, do not feel that your faith is weak. You can still plant kindness through time, presence, and honesty. Your value is not measured by the amount you contribute, and no good door is locked merely because you did not respond to a request. What is sacred does not exploit the fear of losing a blessing in order to force you to act, beloved child. True transformation begins when you stop giving authority to promises that create panic. You are learning to distinguish hope from illusion, generosity from coercion, and faith from the desire to control outcomes. Continue moving with purpose, sincerity, and hope. Guard your finances through wisdom, your heart through boundaries, and your faith through truth. When you do so, what you receive will not merely be one emotional moment, but a life that becomes increasingly steady. I am not calling you to purchase a miracle. I am calling you to become someone who knows how to receive goodness, manage it faithfully, and use what you possess to bring light to others. Remember that your journey is not a race against anyone else, but a personal process of growth. There will be days when you feel as though you are moving very slowly, perhaps even standing still, but this does not mean you are failing. The deepest changes often happen quietly, like a seed germinating beneath the soil before rising into the light. When you remain faithful to right choices, however small, you are building a foundation that will support you during important moments later. Do not forget to care for yourself throughout this journey. Generosity does not mean exhausting yourself for others. You need rest, recovery, and periods of silence in which to hear yourself. When you learn to love yourself in a healthy way, you will have more to give without losing yourself. Learn to say no when necessary, and yes when something agrees with your values. This balance will help you live sustainably and prevent unrealistic expectations from carrying you away. Finally, trust that each sincere step has meaning. Nothing good is wasted, and no effort is meaningless when carried out with an upright heart. You are writing your story each day through your choices, thoughts, and actions. Write it through courage, kindness, and the belief that goodness will always have a place in your life. Beloved child, the person who left your life too soon may have carried something they were unable to say fully, but I do not want you to live forever in fear, guilt, or the pursuit of uncertain signs. Their departure created an emptiness that no explanation could immediately fill. You may have carried certain questions for a long time, whether they remembered you in their final moments, whether they wished to tell you something, and whether you missed your opportunity to express love, forgiveness, or goodbye. I know those questions return at night, when everything is silent and nothing remains to distract you. But listen to me gently. Sincere love is not erased because one conversation never happened, and the beautiful things between two people do not become meaningless merely because the ending came unexpectedly. They may have thought of you during their final days because you held a meaningful place in their life. What they desired most may not have been for you to live forever in regret, but for you to remember the love, lessons, and kindness they gave. You do not need to force yourself to hear a voice from a distant place in order to know this. Look instead at what they showed while they were present. The way they protected you, the smile they gave you, the times they worried but did not know how to express it, or the small things they quietly did so that you would feel safe. People are not always skilled at expressing affection, but love can still be recognized through ordinary traces. Those traces are the most lasting letter they left behind, one that does not disappear with time. I know your mind has recently returned often to the person you lost. A dream may cause you to awaken with tears. A song, a fragrance, or a familiar road may suddenly bring memories rushing back. At times, your chest may feel heavy, and tears may appear before you understand what you are thinking. Do not immediately assume that every feeling is a mysterious signal that must be decoded. Grief has its own language, and your body may remember things words never expressed. When sorrow has been suppressed for too long, it often finds a way to be acknowledged. Tears do not prove weakness, nor do they mean you are moving backward. Sometimes they are simply the way your heart admits that this person mattered deeply. If you frequently notice repeating numbers on a clock or encounter coincidences that remind you of them, receive these moments as reminders to pause, but do not turn them into commands that cause anxiety. When something occupies much of your mind, you naturally notice related images more easily. This does not remove the sacred beauty of the moment. You may still use it to breathe deeply, remember the person with gratitude, and ask how you can live with greater kindness today. Healthy remembrance does not force you to prove anything. It helps transform pain into tenderness, loss into compassion, and words left unspoken into a more meaningful way of living. You may have feared that you would forget them. You worry that their voice will fade, the features of their face will become unclear, or memories that were once vivid will grow fragmented. But forgetting certain details does not mean the love has disappeared. Some people remain within us, not through an image that is always perfectly clear, but through the way they changed the person we became. Perhaps because of them, you value time more deeply. Perhaps because of them, you learned to speak words of love while you still have the opportunity. Perhaps their departure caused you to stop delaying forgiveness, stop treating ordinary days as guaranteed, and become more fully present with those who remain. When you live this way, the goodness they planted continues growing through you. I do not want you to believe that there is only one moment in which you can receive what they wished to say, and that if you miss it, the door will close forever. Sincere love does not manipulate you through fear. It does not say that you must stay, watch, listen, or act immediately, or lose your final opportunity. Truth brings peace even when it causes tears. What that person may have wanted for you was not a life held captive by their final moments, but a future in which you still dare to love, hope, and build. If a message makes you afraid that you must do something immediately in order to prove your devotion, pause. You do not owe the departed prolonged suffering as proof that they mattered. Perhaps what remained unspoken was an apology, gratitude, or a desire that you stop blaming yourself. If misunderstanding once existed between you, you may have replayed the past many times and imagined that the outcome would have changed if you had acted differently. But, beloved child, you cannot use today's understanding to condemn the person you were then. At that time, you chose according to what you knew, within the circumstances you faced, and with the limited strength you possessed. You may acknowledge regret without turning it into a sentence. Speak the words you never had time to say in a private moment. Write them in a letter or carry them into prayer. You do not need to know with certainty whether they can hear in order for this act to carry meaning. You are the one who needs permission to express and release what you have carried for too long. If you dream about them, receive the dream gently. A dream may be the way memory organizes grief, the way your mind processes what remains unfinished, or simply a moment that allows you to feel close to the one who is gone. You do not need to immediately declare it a visitation, nor do you need to deny its emotional meaning completely. Look at the effect the dream leaves behind. If it brings peace, hold on to that peace. If it creates panic, obsession, or prolonged sleeplessness, speak with someone trustworthy and seek appropriate support. I will never ask you to sacrifice your health in pursuit of something unclear. Good guidance will make you steadier, not increasingly fearful and isolated. The door opening before you is not a passage through which time bends and the departed return as before. It is the door of acceptance, where you can look at loss without allowing it to consume the rest of your life. Walking through that door does not mean forgetting them. It means that you stop fighting reality, stop waiting for a moment that could rewrite the past, and begin asking how you will carry that love into the present. You may tell beautiful stories about them, preserve a keepsake, perform an act of kindness in their memory, or care for the people they loved. Such actions transform memory into light rather than allowing it to remain only pain. I, Michael, have not come to make you believe that the departed are pressuring you with a final message that is about to vanish. I have come to protect you from the fear that you did not do enough, love enough, or say enough. Some goodbyes in this world will never be perfect, but love is not measured only by the final moment. It is built through hundreds of moments before it, through the times you were present, listened, forgave, and tried in the ways you knew. If that person truly loved you, they would not desire for you to remain trapped at the threshold of loss. They would want you to eat, sleep, smile again, and feel no guilt when a new day brings joy. Therefore, beloved child, enter a period of stillness, not to wait for a mysterious sign, but to listen to what love has taught you. Allow yourself to cry if tears need to fall, but also allow yourself to rise when your heart becomes lighter. Remember that person with gratitude, not with fear that the message will disappear. What is truly precious is not confined within one video, one number, or one moment. It remains in the way you live, the way you treat others, and the way you choose not to allow loss to make you closed and hardened. The person has departed, but the love that once existed can continue becoming a source of gentleness within you. Carry that goodness forward, because this may be the deepest thing they always wished to say. You are still allowed to live, allowed to love, and allowed to find peace after everything.